become an importer-driven economy. We'll be having problems with the city because we import almost everything. But inshallah, Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, next year if he comes, we're going to design a long-term framework to deal with the city. Trust me.
So if given the nod in 2025, they are going to develop a long-term framework to fix the city's depreciation against the other foreign currencies.
You see, I was telling you that for me, the biggest Achilles heel of the MPP going into the election is the words of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, the state of the economy, and I told you the president himself is a problem. And Dave, when you read the Kwasiboche alleged post-mortem report of the NDC when they lost the 2016, remember one of the famous in that round? Dave, do you remember?
He said a couple of things. I don't know which one you have on mind.
Arrogance of power.
Okay.
And people who feel they are demigods and are worshipped. Today, Steka knows that the city depreciation is a ritual problem. So you should take his post and show him what he said in opposition. You see, that's why I say that. I work in the media. But if you call you for interview and you know you cannot talk, just decline. Dave, even this, there are times where we create flyers, do synopsis, set questions. Or some Dave, you had as well my interview. I mean, you don't do this. Look at how he's talking. Just play the thing again and look at how he's talking. As far as an uncle Abby, and then the whole country Ghana for the CDP depreciation is a ritual problem. So you didn't know that in opposition.
So when the then running mate for what is his name, the president was saying that if the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate would expose.
And it's a truism.
No, but so if they knew that.
Yes.
And then you're just opposing it to what he's saying right now.
It tells you that Steka has no business even being a deputy minister. He has no business being a deputy minister. The point he was asking Nanabuachi that our time is very important. Nanabuachi didn't want to buy. Is it not the flashy program of government?
Exactly, and that was supposed to help.
David, how many times haven't I asked here? What are the dividend, the deliverables of the money we've sunk into the 1D, 1Fs and all
and they're planning for food and jobs.
How many times haven't we asked? Okay, yeah, target. Oh yeah, this. Oh yeah, that. But just listen to him. Is it a journalist job?
Along the line, they were telling us they have arrested the city and given the key to the IGP.
Dave,
now the city is jumping.
Is it a journalist job? To cut Ghana's trade receipt? Is it a journalist job? Is that my job? You are there, so talk to your bosses. You are in charge of policy. Yes, the Ghanaian has a certain. The Ghanaian have a certain point that they come into the mix. But Dave, you see today, if I don't want to buy the Chinese fabric, which you, the minister, have a direct supervision over the port, the charges and everything, and brought to the country, and your own ministry championing tax waivers for companies. David, should you go through the tax waivers given to companies who have done absolutely nothing for our country? Because when you give them tax waivers, their production capacity is lesser than the Ghanaian. That is why President Akufo-Addo in opposition were citing Cote d'Ivoire, because the kilowatt percent we are giving to the businesses there and Ghana, when they bring it in, it makes sense. David, haven't you heard cheaper to go to Turkey and bring them to Ghana? It's a truism. So it is your job. They should stop getting some of us angry. David, see, just look at the energy minister, how they talk. They talk as if they are demigods and everything. By the grace of God, you are ministers because the Ghanaian gave your president mandate. We didn't vote for you as ministers. You are appointed there based on the mandate given to the president. So when you are speaking to Ghanaians, speak to us with the utmost respect. And respect your office. Don't sound clueless. If you're asking somebody, you, even the minister, should have been the one being in a locally produced attire and telling the people who are speaking to you or interviewing you to do same. And not speak to us in tones as if you are demigods and as if we should praise you for being ministers.
Well, maybe you haven't seen his posture or his facial expression as he was, responding to the question that was placed to him. Why don't you join us on Facebook, all right? Join us on Facebook on Love in the Morning and get to see it for yourself. I mean, I want you to see his gesture, his demeanor whilst he was speaking.
The same thing he came to do in the studio. The same thing he came to do in the studio.
But don't forget that the same person he says when given the nod will fix the cedi to dollar is the person who's the head of the EMT.
Yes, Dave, I wanted to say something. You see, I don't know. Anytime I watch Dr. Baumia, I find myself in a, how do I put it? I find myself a bit confused. You know, this is the head of the economic management team on resign and pledging. I mean, it's a bit, is it convoluted? It's a bit mixed and too checkered for me. Through some way, Dave. If there's anything to go by, the presidency of President Akufo-Addo, and I always agree with Dr. Babia that he's a maid driver. He doesn't take as a kettle. I agree with him. But the words will be used against him, and that is also a fact. But Dave, you see, what they've done in the last 7 years, 7, 8, are proving that we don't build economies with slogans. We don't stabilize cities with hashtags. We don't stabilize cities with lectures. We stabilize cities with actuals, pragmatic solutions. That is how countries are stabilized, and that is how currencies are stabilized. Because David, if you have to go by the slogans of this government, the city should be 50 pesos to $1. I tell you, David, I'm not kidding you. If we're building the economy by slogans, David, you see, recently, what I've been doing with my weekends is going through the budget. Dave, the kind of things we were promised and the kind of deliverables we are looking at today is over 14, right? Petrol for over 14. So if you tell us you can fix it, why not now? Because David, you see, Ghana is at a crossroads. I keep repeating this. Times are tough for many people. I've always said if you are not careful, we record the worst voter turnout in the fourth Republican dispensation. Speak to many people, they don't want to vote. They don't want to do. They don't want anything to do with politics. Right? That is why I get a bit agitated when people who are in power, who are supposed to have comforting words, encouraging words for people, mount platform, throw their shoulders about as if we should worship them and obey the minister Granahini. Instead of giving us solutions.
That was the Deputy Finance Minister, Stephen Amwa, Dr. Stephen Amwa. Many people call him Sticker. And when a question was posed to him as to, you know, the city depreciation, the answer he gave, listen one more time.
City. This is the first time city. Who acquired what you are wearing, we didn't import. We imported this, we imported that. City depreciation is a ritual problem. I agree with you. It's not because of one particular government. Unless one is suffering from unconscious incompetence or displaying intellectual dishonesty, that will say that city depreciation is an issue that has nationalistic, or that means nationalistic attention. That one I agree.
It's not playing.
So far we keep on being in